what it would do to the native salmon stock. And I know one of our questions, for example, is what guarantees would there be that there would be no transmission of virus, particularly some of these newer viruses from the Atlantic salmon or other introduced species to the native fish?
And that is a John Kerwin question for WFW. He's a pathologist, so I do
get the weekly updates on ISA, I think is what you're probably referring to. First of all, there's no guarantees in life. Something can look around, so I would never make a guarantee. But the diseases which are here primarily are here. They're diseases from here. The ISA issue is most likely not a new thing. It gets complicated, but the disease ISA has not been found here. It's just an organism which is much the same organism without the virulence factor associated with it. Without getting into a lot of detailed explanation, I think that there's going to be a lot of interesting information coming out on ISA over the next year or two, and we can kind of take a look at it. But the diseases which farm salmon get here come from the wild, and then whether they go back or not is it's all part of that same cycle. It's not something that the wild salmon haven't seen before. Even with ISA, those stocks where that occurred, the impact was to the farm fish, not to the wild fish.
I wondered if you've seen, I'm sure you've seen the studies that show that or suggest that there has been a decrease in native salmon runs in British Columbia when those runs are adjacent to or near fish operations.
Yeah, there's a lot of information out there on that. And actually, if we back up and take a big picture look at it, what we know is that there's been poor salmon runs with and without aquaculture, and there's been good salmon runs with and without aquaculture. So there's nothing that's necessary or sufficient in aquaculture per se to cause a good or a bad salmon run. There's some information, there's some correlation between like sea lice numbers and salmon runs, and there's an equal number of papers that contradict that. And it's an interesting area of science because I don't think we know everything about that whole issue. Certainly from the mitigation side, there are things that you can do to get rid of the salmon lice and avoid transmission issues. In Washington State, we tend not to have salmon lice because of the salinity. They like to have things over 30 parts per thousand. At Manchester, we've had only 1 year I can remember even seeing a lice on the salmon. And that was during a very prolonged drought period when the salinity came up. But we never had a treat. Yeah, we have net pen at Manchester, which we use the whole Pacific salmon.
It's that.
It's in Kitsap.
Yeah, I hope you trade the right one.
We do get some lice on our palate, but that's it.
You were mentioning that there are ways to deal with the lice, and I think we're all aware that there's a salinity difference. What about dealing with new varieties of virus?
Where are these new varieties of virus coming from? There's not many new varieties of virus. So what happened, for example, with ISA, you had a mutation in a virus in the North Atlantic. They got in and wiped out the salmon farming industry in Norway, Maine, Nova Scotia. That's since now actually those groups have vaccines, so that's no longer an issue. It did get transferred probably by aquaculture to Chile, where it wiped out the farm industry in Chile, but there's not a wild component to Chile's salmon. That same organism has been identified in British Columbia just recently, but it has not been shown to be, and because fish are dying, I assume it's probably not the same one as was from Europe. So it's most likely, in that case, that organism has been here for thousands of years, hundreds of years.
Now, I'd like to go back to the sea lice issue and the salinity. I don't understand exactly how on a flood tide the water splits and goes down to Admiral Inlet and up through Georgia Strait. why they separate the salt from our, you know. If what we're talking about is areas like Stacie Bay where there's a large river running into it, then we're talking about the best place to put these net pens is in areas that are actually more critical, they're closer to the shoreline, and closer to the mouth of the river and the delta.
Yeah, even in BC, the sea lice problem is north, except in the province. I mean, the influence of the Fraser is so big that
It's coming from the even up north, it's coming down from Georgia Straits through Townsend Straits. I mean, this water is coming from the same Pacific Ocean.
it doesn't have the freshwater influence up there, of the Fraser and the different rivers. So its salinity up there is in the 30s, where ours is in the upper 20s.
Because you know, I was a commercial fisherman for 12 years. And I fished Dixon Entrance, I fished Puget Sound. And I don't know, I see sea lice. I don't care if I'm up off Dixon Entrance, I don't care if I'm down near Olympia. You know, it's like an equal amount of sea lice on these fish.
Sure, those fish are bringing them in from the ocean. That's coming in.
And so the sea lice, sea lice are coming in from the ocean to Puget Sound. Okay, thank you.
And with the virus, you know, we fish in the wild. They get cleaned out. They're the ones that get eaten first, probably, or something happens to them. Okay, so there's kind of that natural way of fitting the herd with you know, that kind of virus. What you have in net pen is an incubator where you're concentrating a density that allows for that kind of sharing of that kind of virus. So, you know, I guess one way you could look at net pens and say, fine, just don't have any greater density than you have in the wild. It might be okay. And they'd say, well, that's unreasonable.
Well,
we can't make any money.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And the mechanisms are really different out there. You're exactly right. In the wild, you get some weakness and you get picked off, and that kind of tends to keep the general low on those organisms. So in a net pen, there's different tools, and it's like vaccines is, I guess, the biggest tool. You can vaccinate the fish so that they don't get those viruses. Nutrition is another one. You can provide them with good nutrition so that they're able to resist those diseases. And then you have the tool of selective breeding, so you can actually breed for fish that are less susceptible to diseases. And over time, last 20 years, looking at particularly one group of code that's been selectively bred, the fish that we worked with 20 years ago and the fish we have now is entirely different in terms of their abilities and environments and diseases and so on and so forth. So you're exactly right. You can think of those net pens as an incubator, but that's to disregard all the other tools which are fairly effective and can be applied to this situation.
Which may not be in our record. So that brings up another question. You know, we had a record that was open for a long time, a huge amount of content that we read exhaustively. And since then, it's been closed, and we have that record to work with. I have gotten a whole lot of information since then, just because I read the newspaper, nothing else. But I also have people talking to me, people sending me stuff, including you guys.
Be careful about reading the newspaper.
Yeah, don't believe everything you read in the newspaper. I agree with that. But the point is that what do we consider with all of that? Do we just consider what's in the record? If those tools weren't put in the record, do they exist for this process, or do people have to wait till the next update and submit it then? Or do we reopen the record and allow things to come in? What do we consider? If I make decisions based on things outside of the record, I'm concerned I could be challenged on that, or if you make decisions.